hard. If you believe in something with all your heart, it shall come to pass. I see miracles, I see miracles, I see miracles happening for you. I see miracles, I see miracles, I see miracles happening for you. If you believe in something long and hard.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, Power to the People, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We have gospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're rolling up. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. We're rolling up. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe. And if you're trying to make
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Atlantic City, America, Lisa Diane Hall, Teddy Tashe Payton down in Washington, D.C., Feast Payton down there in Washington, D.C. with his wonderful mother, Grayson Whitehead out there in California. And I want to just first thank all of you folks in Atlantic City and around America that sent condolences to me and my family during this week of transition activity with my mother, my brother, my sister Valerie. We all thank you very much for the love and the warm wishes and the special gifts that Lisa Diane Hall gave us and cards, and thank you. It was a challenging time, but it was a spiritually blessed time, and I always love my mama. That's that record. I was getting ready to play that when I came here. We're gonna play that some more, But anyway, good evening. We have a lot to talk about, and if you guys want to join in the conversation and call in to ask any questions, the number to dial in is 609-641-8870. And that is Gospel 88.7 FM, spreading the gospel one song at a time, WEHA in Atlantic City, the greatest city in America. And also for any of you guys out there who have small businesses or any kind of entrepreneurial endeavor, and you want to get some marketing value, get in touch with WEHA and advertise on WEHA and support this local African-American owned radio station that is doing so much for our communities to keep hope alive and to keep the gospel alive and keep the word alive for over 10 years now.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
10 years.
10 years of a minority-owned radio station that's serving the community, a nonprofit organization is doing it for the cause and not for the profit.
Absolutely. I can say that, first off, how you doing, Jimmy Whitehead?
I'm blessed. I'm tired, but I'm blessed.
Yes. It's good to see you. And
You
again,
too.
I know last week probably was a challenging week for you, but thank you for still pressing on to do your show and still pressing on to do the things that you've been doing in the community. You had a couple, roadblocks, but it never stopped you from losing focus of your goals and really
Right.
what you were trying to do. So,
Yeah.
but back to what you were saying, yes, WEHA is a heritage radio station that's been in the community for over 10 years.
Wow.
This is actually their 11th year in the market. Shouting now to Deacon and Elaine Hawks.
Yes.
Because this is sort of like their ministry.
Yes.
They contracted with me 6 months ago to help them in a sales capacity. And as you know, I've been in media in the Atlantic County market for over 20 years. So
Over 20 years?
Over 20
so
years.
10 years you've been working with them, 10 of your 20 here and there.
I've never worked with the Hawks, to
Okay.
be honest with you.
Okay.
We crossed paths, but we never ever connected until such a time as now. So everything has its timing and its season. But certainly, it's surprising to me that more people in the community are not supportive of this station. It's a heritage station that everybody seems to use and utilize when they're running for office or they have an event or they have something going on. Everybody, wants to come to WEHA studios and hang out. But, when it comes time to, give back to the radio station, I find, going into the community, there is a lot of, I see some resistance. And it's kind of disturbing to me because this is the only African-American owned radio station, I believe, in the whole state of New Jersey.
Wow.
I don't think that there are any other gospel formatted radio stations in this area that are sticking to a gospel format such as the Hawks have, dedicated to spreading the gospel one song at a time. So
Well, they get ready to blow up. This radio station get ready to blow up, be big. I was talking to Teddy Tashe. Are you online in D.C.?
Yes, I am.
Let me ask you, are you with that great man? Are you with Thies Payton also?
I am with him.
Yes. Hello, Thies. That's my man. He's down there running D.C. That's the big
Hey,
Thies.
Thies.
Hello, Thies. Hello, big man. Hello. She said, okay, stop. Well, look, welcome Teddy Tashe, Payton, and Thies. We have this.
thank you.
Yes. As
Hey,
I told
Teddy
you,
Tashe.
you and Lisa Diane Hall are going to carry on the show because I'm probably going to have to leave about 5:45
Okay.
because we have two things that we're addressing on the show today. We're going to talk about, and number one is how critically important every vote is in Atlantic City. We just saw what Derek Brock turned it so well. He said it was a wake-up call, this economic apartheid petition that these other folks were pushing that was rejected. But it kind of shook everybody up in Atlantic City and said, you know what? We got to vote. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to participate in this process. So what we did, and Teddy Tashe Payton and Celeste Fernandez helped me with this, and we came up with this thing, we call it Atlantic City, Exercise Your Mind, Body, and Vote. And we have it in English, in Bangladesh, and in Spanish. And what we're going to do starting tomorrow morning, 7 to 8 o'clock every morning. Because I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not going to do.
Right?
I'm going to get up at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to challenge everybody in Atlantic City. There for 30 days. No alcohol. We're going to exercise. And we're going to talk about the importance of voting, 7 to 8 in the morning. Every morning, I'm going to go Facebook Live with the whole Exercise Your Mind, Body, and Vote theme. And for 30 days, we're going to get ourselves together physically, mentally, and politically, spiritually, because we're going to get this vote going now. And I'm going to offer myself to anywhere I got to come to register you to vote. I'm going to come and get you registered to vote. I don't care if you're from 18 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy.
Ooh.
I'm going to help you get registered to vote, and we're going to change Atlantic City. So that's the first thing. We're going to talk about how important this vote is.
Very important.
The second thing we're going to talk about. Go ahead, Teddy Tashe.
I'm just saying, so just to give insight on how important the vote is.
Please.
Before it even got to the vote, it shows that there's power in numbers. Because once it was saw or seen that it was going to be opposed, and it was going to be opposed in great numbers,
Yes.
it changes the ideology of the people who would say, oh, they're not going to see it, or, oh, they're not. So they won't do the same thing the same way again.
Wow.
Because now that they know that people have been awakened and that you're paying attention, it's not going to come in the same format. But you can't be like, oh, well, we won this battle or this small victory, so we're not going to do anything else. You now have to keep up what you've started, and the vigilance has to be that much greater for everything that's going on around you politically.
Yes. That's a
Because
very
this
good
is only
point.
the start of a new beginning.
That's a very good point. You're right, Teddy Tashe, because, if we had sat back and didn't do anything, they would have, you never know what could have happened.
What would have happened?
Okay? When Derek Brock was on our show a couple weeks ago, and we first started attacking this issue, and then we were on it so much daily, then the city council said, look, we got to have a community meeting. So then the city council had a meeting on a Monday. And that's when we found out that they did have some information that was sitting in some boxes, but it had not been distributed.
Wow.
It was the silent majority of Local 54. They had printed up a whole bunch of flyers to oppose this petition. And luckily, they were brought to that meeting, and we got them. But it woke everybody up. We said, wait a minute. We gotta hurry up and get on top of this thing, man, because this thing could go crazy, and the people in Atlantic City could be back and living like 1911, because that's where they got the.
That's where they're heading.
That's where the law came from to do the petition. 1911,
wow,
right?
1911.
So like Teddy Tashe said, when all the women and men started coming together, and we said, look, we ain't letting this happen. Like Brock said, it was a wake-up call for Atlantic City.
Yeah, he was right about that.
What's your thoughts on this vote process, Lisa Diane Hall?
It's just amazing to me that, like I said, people were able to come into the city and hoodwink people in that form or fashion, and that we don't take the time to read what we're signing. Like, you just let people come into your communities and you just sign off on anything. So, like Teddy Tashe was saying, we don't read. We're not educated. You have to do your own research. You have to do your own fact finding, because you don't really know what you're seeing on television is real or if it's fake news or not. So you do have to take the initiative to do your own research and find out what's going on in your own community. And that's what I admire about you, Jimmy Whitehead, is that you're all about bringing community issues and awareness to the community. That's part of the reason why you're doing this radio show.
Which you made me do.
Well, I just knew that, when I took the contract with the Hawks, there were certain people that I already had in mind that I was going to target, because I was going after a certain type of broadcasting. Yeah, I could call anybody. I know, there's plenty of people in my professional contact list that I could have reached out to, but I was looking for specific types of shows and specific types of broadcasting that was going to make a difference to our listening audience. And I know that you're all about economic empowerment, economic development, changing the whole scheme of things in the face of Atlantic City, because you bring up a lot of great points. The casino industry is a dying industry.
Yes.
What do we do moving forward past the casinos? I mean, because like you said, there's casinos everywhere now, so people can go anywhere to gamble. What else, if the people here are just depending on casino jobs, what's going to happen in a couple years to come? And that's what's exciting about you is that you got a lot of great ideas and a lot of different initiatives that you just bring a fresh new presence into the community, not the same old stale rhetoric that people have heard, time and time again.
Right, but let me tell you, it's no me without you and Teddy Taché and Derek Brock and Mark Anthony Rossman and all the people in the community. It takes, they say, teamwork to make a dream work.
Yep, teamwork makes the dream work.
And so I'm glad you said something about economics, because I almost forgot that what we're going to talk about in the second half of the show is Teddy Taché's Opportunity Zone Black Capitalism Fund Summit. We were going to talk the first part of the show, because I'm getting older now, so it takes me a minute to try to get my head together.
Okay.
You guys,
nothing old about
you guys are
Jimmy
getting me all
Whitehead.
sad in the first. I'm not. I got to keep my composure, right?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, the first half of the show, we're talking about the vote.
Okay.
The second half of the show, we're talking about this event that Teddy Taché Payton is bringing to the Showboat, and she's the president of the Opportunity Zone Black Capitalism Fund. Mm-hmm. And that whole fund is an initiative that she formed with myself and some others, and that is focused on black capitalism and white capitalism and Bangladesh capitalism and Latino capitalism and Asian capitalism working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism.
Okay,
right?
Here we go.
She's going to have a summit at the Showboat Resort. I hate to even say the word casino, but the Showboat Resort. Mm-hmm. She's having some phenomenal representatives come there from some major industries. We just got a call today, Teddy Taché, from your friend in California. You know who I'm talking about, Colin. And
Oh, okay. I'm like, which friend? 'Cause
Yeah.
there's friends in
She has a
California.
lot of bowling friends,
There's
But-
several friends in California.
Yeah.
But this gentleman's firm happens to be the second largest equity management firm in the world.
Wow.
Okay, so they manage trillions.
Okay.
So Teddy
That
Taché,
is correct.
yes, she has them coming here.
Correct.
Yes, and
That's pretty major.
yes,
Go, girl.
and some of the other people she has coming who are former NSA guys and other kind of agencies are retired, because you can't have anybody come and speak at these things that are active duty.
Well,
Oh.
Jimmy, if you give all the stuff away now, then I have nothing to talk about later.
Okay, yes, I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm just so excited because
He's taking a win from your
Yeah,
sale.
let's get back on the vote. So when I leave here today, thanks to all of the wonderful people of Atlantic City, etc., who have been signing up and liking our People's Peace and Prosperity Facebook page. In the first week, we had over 100 likes and follows. Right?
That's fantastic.
That's real activism.
Yeah.
So what we're having tonight at 2709 Fairmont Avenue, which is the Bangladesh Community Center, Brother Muhammad Islam has been gracious enough to allow us the generosity to use this for our third community town hall meeting. Because the first two we had at the city council.
Okay.
And so this is the third one we're having, and everybody's invited to discuss how we're going to organize to get out the vote. Not just against the petition, because even though the petition has been rejected, we're going to get some more information from the city council and city hall about what's the next steps of this petition, because it ain't dead, okay? It ain't dead yet. They're going to try to revive it. So we've got to prepare our troops to not only vote against that, but we also got to prepare them to turn out for every vote going forward.
Very important.
Very important. And particularly the people who are 18 years old. We need the 18-year-old and 19 and 20-year-olds to participate in this voting process, because the people that they elect in the future are going to be the people that either create or not create a better and brighter economy for them to get a better job in Atlantic City. You know, the same old people that have been there for anybody that's been in office over 10 years. In Washington, D.C., Atlantic City, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, I don't care where you are. If you've been in office for over 10 years and the community has not gotten better, it's gotten worse. If there's been more murders in the streets while those people in office, those people got to go. If there has not been more economic development under those people, that's not leadership.
Right?
Okay? It's not a popularity post. Okay? It's not a place where you go to stick your chest out to say, oh, I'm an elected official.
Right.
You got to be even though Marion Barry had some faults, one thing Marion Barry did, he created a lot of black millionaires in Washington, D.C. A lot. Duke Green, all of them. And he also created a lot of white and Jewish millionaires. But the thing about them, they were all working together. And that's why I came up with this model for Atlantic City with Teddy Taché. Let's bring whites and blacks and Latinos and Asians together to become millionaires.
Absolutely.
Okay? Let's have a MIT up here. That means millionaires in training.
I like
Okay?
that.
So with that, I'm going to leave that stuff, the capitalism talk, to Teddy Taché. The voting piece is what's going to help us create capitalism. Because if we don't vote the right leadership in, then what we're going to have? We're going to have more poverty. We're going to have more murders.
Yeah.
We're going to have more bullying in school because everybody's going to try to be a gangster. You know, this ain't time for being a gangster. This is time for love and unity and working together and growing together. And we're going to take a little station break for the cause. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the vote. Then when I leave at 5:30, you and Teddy Taché are going to have the rest of the hour to talk about the summit that she's brilliantly pulling together.
Okay.
So with that, Steph, how did Johnny Costa say? You know, he do like that. Boom. We'll be right back, Atlantic City in America.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing, nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen, listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got to do. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got to do. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe. And if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, gonna polish up our act. Wow. And if you've ever been held down before,
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, Power to the People, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We have gospel.com, the Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, power to the people.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Atlantic City in America. We're here at Gospel 88.7 FM, spreading the gospel one song at a time, WEHA. Phone number 609-641-8870. If anybody wants to call in and add value to our comments. we're focused on the vote. Exercise your mind, body, and vote. This is what we're going to do. Rock the vote, exercise your mind, body, and vote in Atlantic City. And Celeste will tell us how to say this in Spanish one day. And then I'm going to get one of the Bangladesh brothers and sisters to tell us how to say it in Bangladesh. But I know how to say it in America. Exercise your mind, body, and vote. And also, listen, even if you don't live in Atlantic City, or if you do, just think about it. We can get healthy while we taking control of our destiny.
Healthy and wealthy.
Healthy and wealthy. Mm-hmm. So,
what made you decide to, come up with this and all the different languages, and what made you decide to come up with this campaign for the residents? What motivated you to do this?
This apartheid petition. When I saw that they were trying to take over, I think we have a caller on. Okay, you tell me when, brother. You know who it is? E.G. Oh, DJ Whirlwind, my man. DJ Whirlwind, get ready to come online.
Okay.
It's Robert Collins, right? That's his name?
I don't know DJ Whirlwind.
Yeah, DJ Whirlwind.
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? How are you?
How are you? How are you, OG?
Man, it's so good to hear your voice. You know, you and I was saying you got to come on up here. You got to come on the show with me. You got to come on the show with me.
I'm in the building, man. Whenever you ready for me, man, I'm in the building, man. I just want to say salute and shout out to you, man, for doing what you do and making Atlantic City great again. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? That's not even on the push on that note. But what I'm saying is just where's though, man, you're making Atlantic City relevant again, man. Atlantic City needs that love, man. And the first time that I met you and got a chance to talk with you, man, I knew your heart. You know what I'm saying? I knew your soul, man. You all the way down to earth from relevant to everything, man. I just wanted to just call in just to shout out to you, man, and say I love you, man, from DJ Monty B, DJ Whirlwind, the Remnant Hip Hop Radio Show.
Remnant.
Always, man. We love you, man.
But look, don't go nowhere. Let me tell you something. I just was telling Lisa Dan Hall that we need to organize some kind of event to encourage our young people to register to vote and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you call. It's like God said, okay, here's the person. Here's the person, Jimmy. Get with this person. We got to get together, brother, and organize some kind of event that's focused on registering to vote in Atlantic City. And are you in town next Monday?
I'm in town anytime that you need me to be in town.
Okay,
man.
Okay.
I'm already listen, man. My whole thing is, man, that's where I wanted to be at in 2020. My whole thing is, man, I'm very universal when it comes to this and when it comes to music. My young peoples, which we say the millenniums, but we are now into the future. 2020 is God's perspective. You know what I mean? His 100% man perspective, vision, man, for his peoples today. What I'm saying is, man, let's rock the vote, man. I'm ready.
Tell the people.
Ready
Let's
to
rock
hit the
the
block,
vote.
hit the parks, hit the hood, hit the corners.
Yeah.
You
have to get people excited.
Whatever. Let's go, man. Because listen, man,
love this,
the
brother.
only way that we're able to reach our people is to go to our people.
Yeah.
I keep telling them the only way the church gonna reach the people, you know what I'm saying, is to go out there to the streets. I'm in the streets every day.
Yes.
Every weekend. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new to me. But when you talking about Atlantic City, you talking about New Jersey, you know what I mean? I don't live in Jersey no more. But guess what, man? Millville, Bridgeton, Violin, Port Norris, New Jersey, I'm forever. You dig what I'm saying? So let's rock the vote, man. If you want to spin it, let's spin it.
You know, I love you, man. Tell the people, tell our audience a little bit about your background, because I fell in love with you when I first met you. Tell them how you came, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today, if you don't mind.
My whole background, man, is me, man. Shout out, man, to the Hawks, man, number one.
Yes,
you know what I
amen.
mean? WEHA, you know what I mean? That's family.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's my family forever. Me, myself, man, I come from the city of Philadelphia. You know what I mean? I did 5 years in prison, first of all. You dig what I'm saying?
Amen.
I come from a drug background.
Amen.
You know what I mean? All that stuff, man. Everything, whatever you can name or imagine, man, I've been through it. But God has allowed me, man, to always be relevant on both sides in order for me to be able to be reachable to the people. I am a community person, meaning I am the love, the heartbeat of the community, meaning when, you ain't going to sit back and tell me just because of the fact that, this is what I give you, this is who I am. No, I am universal. I'm black, white, Mexican, whatever you want to call it, I am that. Why? Because I am universal and I reach the people. But me, myself, man, when it came to Jimmy, man, Jimmy was going through his situation, man, as in coming and pushing for the mayor of Atlantic City, man. And I got a chance to meet up with this brother. This brother came on my radio show, the Remnant Hip Hop radio show, man, and showed love like never before, man. Solid! You know what I'm saying? That was the love that we shared, man. My life itself, man, I'm hood, man. I'm street, and I will always be that. Jimmy, I love you, man.
Love you, brother.
Thank you for the moments, man. All I want to say is let's rock the vote, man. Let's go.
I'm going to see you here next Monday at 5 o'clock. We're going to have the Remnants on the radio here with me to talk about reaching out to the youth to get the vote drive going. And we're going to come up with some kind of project, and I'll raise the money. I'll raise the funding. We'll do something with the kids.
I got you.
Okay? Thank you for your call, man.
We got so much, man. Because like I told you, man, whatever you want to do and how you want to reach the youth and it's how you want to reach them, we have all kinds of outlets, man. I got programs already formed up and everything. All we got to do is just do it, man. Just let me know how you want to do it, and I got you.
We're going to be together next Monday, and we're going to figure out some strategies that work for you and for the people. And we're going to access the capital that we need to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, like I was telling James King, what we got to do, we got to get used to writing a check, even if it's only $10 or $25.
That's right.
You know, I went to this meeting the other day for the Atlantic City Taxpayers Association, right? And it was a group of wonderful white folks, probably about 50 people sitting in the room, and discussing how to get rid of these high property taxes, right? But you know the first thing they do when they start that meeting? They say, okay, we got a membership. The membership is $25.
Boy.
It takes money to make things happen.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to get together next Monday, brother. God told you to call today, and I'm so glad he did. Because I just told Lisa, I said, man, we got to figure out something to do. And then, bring, here you call.
That's fantastic.
I love it. I'm going to see you next Monday, brother. Thank you. God bless you, brother.
All right, man. WHA, man. Gospel 8.7 FM, the Jimmy Show. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, Father. I'll see you next Monday at 5 o'clock,
All
okay?
right, Father,
Love you, man. God bless you, baby. Teddy Tashe.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Can you believe how God does? Yeah, you can, because you always saying Jesus. You know, she.
Absolutely, I can, because that's the way it's supposed to work.
Every time I get in her car, she got gospel music playing, and she always.
It's my kind of girl.
Well, you know, her dad is a preacher.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yes. So, what did you think about that call from that wonderful young brother, Teddy Tashe?
I think it's wonderful. I don't know if they do roller skating in Atlantic City, because that's one of Beast and I's favorite little pastimes. He likes to roller skate. I like to roller skate. The whole family can go have fun, or a bowling alley. But that's one of the things where you can take over the whole thing. Everybody's having activities, so you're moving. You can learn about voting. You can get registered to vote, and you can have your DJing going on. That sounds like an amazing event to me right there.
I think she just named the event that we're gonna talk to Robert about doing next week.
Okay.
I love that. And I got a couple of celebrity friends who are good people. You know, we can get them to come in and hang out with the kids and stuff too, and do some.
They have
good.
skate zone.
Yeah,
they got skate zone.
I think they got a big skating ring right off of Black Horse Pike.
Isn't that skate zone?
I think so.
I think it's skate zone.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that with Teddy Tashe.
But that is a great idea. Because Teddy Tashe, she brings up, a great point that you have to keep the youth engaged.
You have to.
You have to make them feel like they're a part of it, so they'll be a part of it. And, I was curious to know how he was going to go about doing that. So it's going to be a really interesting show next Monday to find out, his initiatives and the things that he's done with the youth, because we all know music in hip-hop is universal.
Yeah.
Music is a way to get the youth involved and to get them, excited and engaged. And we have to definitely get the message out that voting is important. They don't really understand it because they never had to fight for the right to have it. Right. So they don't really get it.
Well, let's not say that they never had to fight for the right, but that's not why they understand. I didn't have to fight for the right either.
Yeah.
However, I went to the polls when my mom and my dad was voting.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mom and your daddy not voting and you're not seeing what's going on, then it looks a little different.
Yeah.
So I can't fault them for not knowing.
Yeah, that's very true.
You only know what you see.
Very
so
true.
If, like my son Feast, every time I voted, he's been there. He stayed in line and he's got an I vote sticker.
That's so cute.
Because it's a timestamp. Like, oh, okay, well, mommy's going to vote. Oh, what is this? Oh, I voted. So, it's different levels to all of these things that we're doing. And we can't just keep telling people to vote and not educate them what does voting actually mean.
Yes.
Right? So I don't know what's coming up on the ballot for Atlantic City. But we need to know everything else besides the economic apartheid that was going to be on the ballot. Because now we've politely removed that one. Okay, check that box. Mm-hmm. But there's other things that are going to be on the ballot that we now need to say, okay, these are other things that concern you. You don't like the police, guess who's going to be running? Mm-hmm. I don't know how it is there, but your police chief, your sheriffs and those people. If you don't like the way the police force is working, guess what? You get a say-so for any judge. If you think this judge is too heavy on the right side or too heavy on the left, guess what? You get to remove them if you are educated on what's going on. So we need to not just say, okay, let's go vote. We need to also look at, the sample ballots, because by now they should start getting ready to have the sample ballots after everybody has made their official candidacies and everything else to say, these are the people who you can elect. So this is what they stand for. This isn't whatever. But we need to go further than just vote. Because if you just voted and you didn't know nothing about the people who are in office and the powers that be right now, and you voted for them, hello, that's still a vote, and it did count. It just went in a way that you may or may not agree with. So we need to go deeper than just vote, but, educate. What does that look like? How do I pick a candidate?
And I would tell you, we just had the wonderful Councilman Subrata Chowdhury join us, as well as the iconic Stephanie Dixon. So thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Stephanie and Robert, for all joining us. And before I go, and you guys are going to carry on the discussion about the summit.
Okay.
Teddy Tashe, you just said something. Oh, yeah. Not only do we have to vote for the right sheriffs and police chiefs, we also need to vote for the right mayors and councilmen.
Absolutely. It starts at a local level.
It starts at a local level.
The school board, does it?
School board too, right?
I have to educate myself, or school board. Who's elected to the school board, or is it appointed? Yes. All of these things are the things that affect our babies. Mm-hmm. And as a child, you can tell your parent, Mom, my school is messed up, so we need somebody new.
Yeah.
We can educate the children because that affects them directly. If they don't see anything else, they know that.
And before I go, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had an epiphany about a week ago that in Atlantic City, this year we will have an unprecedented record of turnout, of voter participation. I could see that people were enthusiastic and happy to come out and vote because they really felt that the kind of change that they had been waiting for was definitely here. Mm-hmm. So I really believe that's going to happen. We're going to have an unprecedented turnout in this election, in the primary, and in the general election. And you're going to see the kind of change happen in Atlantic City that you ain't never seen before.
All right.
Okay? So look, Atlantic City and America, keep talking to my colleagues, Teddy Tashe Payton and Lisa Diane Hall. And Teddy Tashe, I want you to take it from here and with Lisa and give them some information and talk about your fabulous summit coming up. And I will see you guys Monday. But if you're watching on Facebook, you'll be able to see live that we're going to have this town hall meeting for People's Peace and Prosperity Initiative. So I'm just going to leave you right now, but I'll be back on live in about another 30 minutes. So with that, Teddy Tashe, I'm going to let you take it over from here, okay?
All right.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody in America. God bless you.
Make the town hall meeting successful. Absolutely.
Yeah,
all right,
count,
Teddy Tashe.
So now it's you and me, Lisa Diane, and here we go for the second part.
So tell me about this.
I just want to...
You've been doing big things, very busy.
Yes, very much so. So we have a lot of things going on, and sometimes it seems like it's so much going on that it's hard to juggle them all because you feel like something is being left out. However, coming up in February, we do have our Opportunity Zone Black Capitalism Summit. And this year's summit will be in Atlantic City at Showboat. The first day of the summit is really a reception, I should say, and that evening, that's on February 11th at Showboat. And then the actual full day of speakers and different people coming in and actually getting different perspectives will be on the 12th. Okay. And last year was the first year for the summit. And it was held in Washington, D.C. at the Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
Chamber of Commerce being the powerhouse that it is, speaking to all things, and you're talking about capitalism, so it's like, okay, how or why not would you have it at the Chamber? Because, you know, everybody at the Chamber is talking about doing business and how to get things done, so it totally just makes a lot of sense. So with that in mind, Jimmy and I were talking, and this idea, this concept was birthed. And during that summit, we actually had Congressman Clyburn came, and it was more like a cameo. We thought that he may or may not, but because we were so close to Capitol Hill, he did come, and he spoke to us about, again, the importance of knowing your history, the importance of knowing really what does it mean? Because, everybody talks about money. Everybody talks about wanting money. However, when you get it, what you going to do? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to make it be sustainable? Because money comes, and people are like, oh, I want $1 million. Many of us have already made $1 million realistically in our lives. If you look at how much you make annually over X amount of years, you've come across $1 million. But what have you done with it? What do you have to show for it? And these are the type of things where we're going to delve a little deeper. Some people have wonderful ideas, and the ideas go from, wanting to start a business or wanting to do a real estate development project or redevelopment. All of those things count. So we're looking to hear from the people and hearing their ideas and what that actually sounds like and looks like. But we're also looking for things to actually vet. What do I mean by to vet them? Meaning you've already done your research. You've already run your numbers. It's supposed to be, wonderful. You have your margins in there. We're going to actually look at it and say, okay, with the proper funding, can we make this thing go? And we've talked a lot in different ways about opportunity zones, but we really haven't gone into detail about what opportunity zones are, nor how they really work. And so during this summit, we're going to delve a little deeper. We're going to have like the full-fledged, what is an opportunity zone? We know that they're in underserved or depressed economic areas. We also know that there's a lot of buzz about being able to actually invest in them, or there's money where opportunity zones are. But what does that really look like? How do you really structure a deal and bring it to life?
How do you?
And so we're going to do all of those things. I'm sorry?
I was asking the question, how do you, go about, setting something like that up? With these conferences, what can they expect, coming and networking in that type of environment?
There will be different things where you can have access to capital. Again,
that's always
important. It does not mean that we are open checkbook where we're just writing checks. That is absolutely 100% not what it is. However, it is something where with any business deal or transaction, you have to show, especially with the larger development deals, that you have what we call skin in the game. What does that mean? That means
what's skin in the game? School us.
Money. Yeah, so you have to have your own money in it, or if you already own the land that you want to develop and you own it free and clear, and you're now pledging the land back into your own project, that is one form of skin in the game, or if it's that is not dealing with real estate and it's just a project that you need funding for, you've done your research and you've paid for all these different studies and things like that, that's also another form of skin in the game. Meaning, how far are we away from 0 and 100? Wow. Right? So if you're trying to get to 100 and you have zero effort in, no money, no exchange, no nothing, then the likelihood of anybody looking at your project and taking you seriously is still about 0.
Wow.
However, if you take that project and you're saying, okay, this is my project, these are the things that I've already done developmental-wise, this is what I'm looking at, this is the research that supports what I need, this is the research that shows, and I have this much capital, and I'm lacking this much capital. So I have 10,000, but I'm lacking my other 40,000.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's see how this looks, and let's see if we can actually put the pieces together, because it may be a viable idea. And when you can show those types of things, then, you know, it looks different. It's kind of like Shark Tank, right? You always say, well, how
right,
do they
that's
come
what
up
it's reminding me of, right.
the things that, you know, they're doing? Well, they're using metrics. And metrics are nothing more than saying, well, what are the measurements that I'm going to use to say, okay, if I need 12 inches and with me looking at what you have at least 8, okay, yours is a viable deal, so let's go. So you're looking at the metrics that match up to say, okay, this actually looks like it'll work, because who wants to invest in something that's just a money pit?
That's pretty interesting. I mean, what made you decide to start to develop these types of summits, like in your circles, and what's been the outcome for some of the guests from last year's summit? Have you seen, you know, how it has helped people, or, you know, what has come out of it for people from attending?
So from those who were in attendance, some people wanted to come to really learn how to set up their own opportunity zone funds, right? So if you look at tax code and you go and you're seeing different things, anyone is eligible to set up an opportunity zone fund. However, it has to be done a certain way, and you just go and you ask for the proper paperwork, just like creating a business. Anybody on the, you know, in America can create an LLC, can create a company.
Right.
You just have to go get your EIN number and, you know, go through that process, and then, hey, technically you're in business.
Right.
Now, what you do with it once you get it, completely different story.
That's fantastic.
Completely different story, because you have to, you know, now work your plan. Okay? So that's why, you know, people who say, oh, I have this great business idea and nothing's written down, you have no numbers to show me how anybody's getting money back. It's like, no, you're not serious. Get out of here.
Wow.
Like,
which a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, it'll be great to have a car wash. All right, wonderful. How much is a car wash going to make a month? They'll be like, oh, it'll be about $100,000. Well, how do you know this? How much are you paying your workers? Is that my gross or is that my net? All of that makes a huge difference. Because if it's going to gross $100,000 a month, right, and then by the time I get finished paying for my workers' salaries and insurances and everything else, I'm left with $1,000 a month. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so it's not even worth it. You bring up really great points, because, you know, a lot of people want to be in business for themselves, and they have a great idea, and, you know, myself included, I have all these ideas, but, you know, is it going to transfer into a viable business is really the question. So what I think is great about what you're doing in this summit is you're educating people and allowing them to network with people that can take their business ideas to a higher level, if I'm understanding you correctly. Because I don't think I've ever been, you know, I've never been to a summit of this nature. It seems really, really interesting.
Okay. Right.
And I'm really impressed that you're able to set all of this up. Just look at you. You're just such a baller. You just are. She's just a little ball of fire. I'm just so impressed with the fact that you're able to do this.
I totally appreciate it, right? Because it's a difference between having a hobby and actually having a business.
Right? Absolutely.
So a hobby can become a business. A business cannot be a hobby.
That's profound. That's so true. That's so true.
Because, think about the person who bakes cakes, right? And they do a phenomenal job. And it was a hobby of theirs. Now, if they're serious, they can take that hobby and turn it into a business. But if you're going to still just do it treat it like a hobby, then it's not going to grow. You're not going to see the profits.
Right.
And then you're just going to be kind of stuck in that little rut. So that's why I say you could take a hobby and turn it into a business, but you cannot treat a business like a hobby. Because if you treat a business like a hobby, you'll not get what you want. Now, I do have some clients who do have businesses as a hobby. But when I say business as a hobby, it's more so because they're looking to have a certain amount of write-off to where they don't want to overperform it because that'll be more of an issue for them. So it does exist, but for most of us, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that at all.
Well, this is going to be definitely something that's different for the city of Atlantic City. And I really like the fact that you're bringing in, other people to educate people and really help people with a business plan. That's really something empowering that really a lot of people need to be exposed to. So to be a part of this summit, what do people need to do to get more involved or to be a part of it? What's the process?
I'm so glad you asked. So the reception, if some people are like, you know what, I don't know that I'll take off on the 12th and I don't have, the time off or whatever for all day, and you just do the reception. We have a VIP reception. That is on the 11th, and the cost of the reception is $50. And if you say, okay, I want to do both the reception and the actual summit with all the meetings and things like that, the summit by itself is $150. Together, $200. And you can choose if you want to do one, the other, or both. However, the option is totally up to you. And you can register for the summit itself at ozbcf.com. Again, that's ozbcf.com. And you're able to see previous events. You're able to see the concept of what's happened, different projects that we're actually working on from the Virgin Islands and things like that, so that you can basically familiarize yourself and say, you know what, I think I want to do something like this in my own area, which is for most people listening in Atlantic City or the surrounding areas thereof. So it's about educating. It's about bringing people with the wherewithal to make things happen. And it's also about us really looking at Atlantic City and me coming and looking at different projects to viably say, hey, I think this is one parcel of land or one building or whatever that we could redevelop. And when we redevelop it, let's repurpose it for these things. And that's what we're doing, because we are all about community development. And with community development, you can't forget the community.
Right.
And with many areas, I'm in the DMV, so, Baltimore, it is a city where it has a lot going on, but you also have the lack of industry. While, it's like a true divide. You have one part of the city that is thriving. Then you have another part of the city where it's, not so much, which is the total opposite of the district, because, there is no stone kind of unturned in the district where, everything is hitting on all cylinders. And then you have different segments even within my county and Prince George's County or what have you, where you're just looking at different things, and all of it looks different and it feels different because each place has a different economic makeup.
Okay.
And you have to understand what the makeup is in order to either say, this will really work because you're bringing in industry, so you're creating the industry, therefore the jobs are there, therefore people are going to buy real estate because they can now afford it, therefore your tax base is different. So, like, just that alone can completely change the dynamic of and the makeup of a community. So we're looking at all those things, and we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be dealing with it. And I'm excited to meet so many. So hopefully I get to meet a lot of different people from the New Jersey area and the surroundings.
It sounds, like I said, I've never been to quite a summit on this level. So, like, if I'm a business, what do I need to bring to come to the summit? Like, do you need to bring your whole business plan? Do you need to have everything? Like I don't really know what to expect. So I'm a business owner, and I want to find out more about these opportunity zone funds and things of this nature. What preparation do I need to prepare for this sort of summit?
If you have business plans and if you have like your whole project and you're ready to talk about it, I say bring it.
Okay. And there will be people there to go ahead, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. There will be people there that will basically read through it, skim, because you have to have your elevator speech. Now, keep in mind that nobody is going to be taking a full day to dive into a complete business plan per se. So you have to have like your elevator speech ready, and you don't even have to bring really like your full plan. You can bring your executive summary, because if you can't sum it up in a page, then you still have work to do.
Wow, that's really great information to give people, because a lot of people just they're not prepared. And can you pitch your product?
Yeah, but just think about it. So, like, if I want you to come to the movies, right? I have the preview. The preview has taken the whole movie that's over an hour,
right,
and put it into how much? That is a lot of compression, but you get the general idea of that whole movie from that 30-second clip or that 1 minute that you see. And if you go on YouTube and pull it up, you might get 5 minutes. But still 5 minutes in comparison to the hour and a half or 2 hours that you're going to go sit. That's a lot of information that you just put into that time.
Right.
So same type thing with your business. If you can't tell me what you do in a sentence, then you need to keep thinking until you can do it. Not saying don't, I'm not telling you don't do it, but think about it, because how much time do you have? If I met Russell Simmons right now, say Russell Simmons, like, what, if he say, like, what can I do for you? And somebody asks you the question, what can I do for you? And you don't have an answer, you just wasted your moment in time.
Wow. That's really, words to live by, because you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. And this is part of the reason why we're doing this radio broadcast, is to empower and enlighten people and to just bring awareness to things that they may not know about. And certainly economic development, economic empowerment, these opportunity zone funds. We want to thank you, Teddy Taché, for even bringing this to the Atlantic City community, because it's something that's really not being done. So for the people who are hearing our voices, Teddy Taché, could you just give us in closing, because how much more time do we have? We have 2 more minutes left on the broadcast. So if you just want to sum it up on how people can get involved, who they can expect to see, because it's going to be some heavy-hitting networking opportunity, especially at this VIP reception. Just give us a full cap on how we get involved and, why we should come.
Again, to get involved, you go to ozbcf.com, and you can register for the conference there. We will, at the reception, be giving awards to some heavyweight champions or boxing champions that have, in their own right, done amazing things in the community. We will also have other people who have been social architects in their own right, and we will be giving awards. Right now, I cannot disclose all information until I get all of my signed paperwork back.
Okay.
We will also have different speakers from different industry that will be from like the banking industry, parties that have done real estate development who can speak about the Opportunity Zone funds that they actually have in existence and what they're doing with them and what that looks like. We have people basically talking about how to structure Opportunity Zones or how to use it to your benefit. So the how-tos of the who, what, when, where, how will be discussed, and we'll go through it more in depth because we'll have the time, and you'll have takeaways. In the past, we have sent out like the presentations of our presenters only after getting permission to make sure, because that is someone else's intellectual property. But we do, say, hey, is this something that we could send out to people who have registered? And if they say yes, we'll put it up, beforehand or what have you. So we're all about the exposure. We're all about education. And we want people to be able to come away knowing how to either go further with their business, how to structure their business, or potentially come away with funding for it.
All right. Well, this is fantastic. We want to thank you for filling in for Jimmy Whitehead. And, we're going to pick this conversation up next Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. Thank you so much. It's been a great show.
The music blast from the hip hop shop to Sneaker Villa. Parties in the inlet, never forget they ain't a place filler.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people. Talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City. A platform for people to discuss ideas of the community. Creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. WeHaveGospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people. WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City.
Hey, you like football?